Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Denizen Sucks podcast.
Denizen sucks.
Episode 27. We're
Woo!
here. Rock and roll, the 27 Club. Check it out if you don't know about it, folks.
Hey, yeah.
Wow, that feels unlucky almost.
Don't worry, it's going to be just fine. We are so grateful to have Jack from the Tumblers on the pod.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hey,
How are you, Jack?
very good, very good. I'm going tomorrow to Minnesota to the Minnesota Yacht Club Festival. Have you guys heard of that one?
I'm not.
It's a big one. It's in St. Paul. The Strokes are playing in Geese, and I'm just going in the audience. I'm just going to have fun. But I'm
Nice.
pumped.
I
It's
will
a
say
little-
about Geese, we had that's who's playing?
Yeah, they're one of the bands playing.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we had an opportunity to open for them, and then I had to go to a friend's engagement party. Matt Burke, I'm looking at you. Ruined my career. You know what I mean? Anyway,
You can see where our priorities lie. Clearly, it's not on climbing the ladder.
I could have been going to see you guys at this festival right before Geese. but
Wow.
exactly.
Wow. Where are you calling in from, Jack?
I'm in Brooklyn. This is where I live. This is I'm actually in like a little home studio. It's not like fully set up right now. Mostly, honestly, it gets used as a guest room.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like you got some. What's on the door there? Is that like a padding for?
Yeah. So we do like little demo recordings in here and stuff. And I record some friends in here whenever they want to. It's not like the highest quality or something. So like we don't do our actual stuff, but it's nice to have.
Nice. Yeah, we recorded our first EP in Bushwick.
Hey,
Shout out Damon Dorsey if
Oh
you're
my
still
God.
you're still out there rocking and rolling.
Rad Studios. Rad
Yep.
Studios. I want to shout out the other members who
Yep.
couldn't make it. Emerson Sieverts, am I
Sieverts, yeah.
Nice
Mhm,
bass. Uh,
mhm.
Ian Anderson, guitar. Is he also doing the banjo? That awesome banjo?
Yeah, he plays the banjo as well.
Nice. Will Frazier,
Yeah.
drums.
hmm
And Camellia Hartman, that gorgeous
So
fiddle that you got.
so Camellia was our violinist on our first album.
Oh,
Most recently, we've been working with Noah Bowden. He's like not necessarily like a core member of the band. He's getting his master's in works and stuff. He's super busy, but he plays most of the shows with us, and he's fantastic. And Camellia is amazing too. We actually do our recordings. Our producer is with her partner.
nice.
So everything's sort of, and she's actually on tour with Kevin Morby right now in Europe.
So which
Um,
album specifically was she on versus Noah?
She was on Tangerine. I mean, our like
Yeah.
the only full length album that we've put out.
Yeah, that was the one I was just before we hit record. I was saying that's the one I was listening to in the car. That
Yes.
album is awesome.
So
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's a great record, and it's actually my first question, if we can jump into it, regarding that
Sure.
album. I love kind of the raw, sort of unpolished nature sound, almost like a live basement show. I'm curious. I mean, obviously, you guys have been doing really well in terms of streaming numbers, and potentially you're thinking, hey, maybe we should have better studio production for our second album or third album, whatever it is. Talk to me a little bit about like, is there a desire to kind of fight the temptation to kind of clean up that sound? Or yeah, you kind of get what I'm getting at?
Totally. Yeah, so for that album, we were actually we recorded it in a barn upstate that we literally worked with. It's at Camellia's sort of a farm, kind of an artist retreat kind of space. But they sort of converted this barn into a recording studio, and we stayed up there for a week and just did it. So that was like super raw. We
Yeah.
literally, it was raining, on the roof of the barn, and there's no getting around that. Like the mics are picking it up, and so we just leaned into it. We literally put a mic outside and just captured uh, the rain and also like bird sounds and stuff while we were recording, and we just layered that into the whole record. Um,
Awesome.
for the for the for
Where?
the newer. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to ask where about in upstate were you recording?
Um, I forget the town, but it's like right on the Pennsylvania border. So it's not even. It's more west.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
Um,
okay.
fair enough.
Yeah, got it.
Uh-huh.
just like 2 hours, 2.5 hours away, something like that.
Hmm.
It's called the place is called Ladybug Land. Um,
Ladybug
Nice
Land.
shout
great
out
great
there.
spot for an artist retreat. If anybody wants to go,
All
There you
right.
go.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So sorry. Yeah. Before cousin Dave interrupted, you were saying, are you starting to work on a second record?
Yeah, so we've been putting out new songs, and basically we recorded. I think it's 13 total tracks that we've sort of been, waterfalling away into sort of like little EPs recently.
Right.
Those tracks we've done fully in Brooklyn, in East Williamsburg, in our producer's studio there. And as far as like the temptation to go, um, yeah, more polished and stuff, it is tough. But I think the way that we combat it is we all record together most of the time. So we are playing like
You're
the
playing
drummers,
live.
we're playing live together. Yeah. And actually, like our secret sauce is everybody can play like a couple instruments or so. So we normally like track live. So we'll have like the electric guitar and the bass and the drums
Yeah.
and let's say vocals or something. And we'll all be going. And then when we feel like we've gotten enough takes there, we set those down. Everybody picks up something else. So like Emerson will go play piano. The drummer will, the drummer can play a ton of stuff, but maybe he'll do percussion. Ian
Hmm.
will pick up the banjo. I'll fiddle around on something like a mandolin or whatever, and then we'll record all those tracks. So we started to get like a much bigger sound,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it is all live in a way. It's
I've
maybe like two
always,
sets of
yeah.
live.
I know Dave and I have always like I feel personally that we you always I've always felt we lose something when we go into the studio. I always and I don't know why that is, but we've never like truly recorded,
I think it's
Dave.
because we're not as talented as they are, Pete. I think
Well,
that's
it's probably
yeah,
that.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean,
probably Denizen sucks, man. I mean,
yeah,
the name says it.
it's true. Yeah, we're not good,
Yeah.
but some of our live stuff is better, I think, than our studio stuff, and I struggle continually with that of like how do we keep that live sound, that live energy, the je ne sais quoi, as they say.
Yeah, it's like it's a bit of a balance because I do feel like certainly for some genres and some bands, like just playing live is just better. That's where like
Yeah,
that's where you want to see them.
Yeah.
better
For
suited in that.
us,
Yeah,
for us, like I love being in the recording studio just because it's like just the creativity. You're like
Mm.
the layers that you can add on, the little details and stuff. I think
yeah.
it's just so fun in its
Mm.
own way. But um,
When you guys are playing live, are you like hopping around to different instruments then, or what? How does that work?
um, not as often as so. I'll sometimes flip between the acoustic electric guitar and a mandolin.
Uh-huh.
Um, I'm pretty terrible at the mandolin. I like the songs that I play mandolin on are incredibly simple.
I
So
I was gonna actually I had a question about the Mando. I love it on Right Away. I love that song.
oh,
That's
thank you.
awesome. Yeah, and
Thank you.
well, I mean, it's you're doing it very percussively, and I think it just
Yeah.
adds. I was assuming that that was Ian, the
No, no,
fiddle
Ian's
guy.
just rocking the banjo. Yeah.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Sorry, no,
Oh, but
Noah
the
is the fiddle
fiddler.
guy. I'm so sorry. My apologies. My research sucks apparently because I've messed up two questions already. But no, there's a certain lineage between violin and mandolin. I mean, they're tuned kind of the same way.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So
I was assuming it was the violin player.
So, um, I mean, Noah is really good at mandolin. So recently, more so when we do add a mandolin on top of a track,
Yeah.
normally he'll do it. The only
Uh-huh.
songs where I play mandolin are when I wrote it on a mandolin. Um,
Okay.
and so I'm just like, I mean, I can play it because I was able to mess around and find the original sound that I wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's much more percussive. I mean, he can actually play the thing properly because it's true. Yeah, it's
What
like
do
the
you get
violin.
from the mandolin that you don't get otherwise? Do
You
you
know,
because
y-
I tool around with a mandolin, but I'm like a guitar player, like
mhm.
so I don't know what I'm doing, but I do find it's like got a great percussive like beat to it. Um, I don't know.
It's like when you pick up any instrument, even if you don't really know what you're doing, it just like opens up a whole new world of like what a song could be,
Right.
right? Like
Yeah.
me playing just simple chords like G, C, D on a mandolin, at least to me, sound like completely different. Where if I was playing that on guitar, I'd
100%.
be like, oh
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
this. This is so lame. Like I can do better. But like creating different, yeah, just adding different instrumentation. Like I also have a banjo around the apartment. It's just a shitty one, but
Uh-huh.
um, just like pick up and like try something different, get like a different feeling, you know?
I want to kind of piggyback off of what you were talking a little bit about there, like songwriting, just picking up an acoustic guitar. So, obviously you guys have, as I mentioned, had some great success in terms of your kind of streams on Spotify, et cetera. Have you personally kind of noticed a shift in your songwriting where perhaps you're subconsciously trying to recreate kind of a formula of kind of your most streamed tracks? Has that ever kind of like come into your psyche?
I don't think we're there yet, to be honest. I
Good.
think if we yeah, I think if we had one song that was jumping out to like millions and millions, I think we'd
Yeah.
all turn to each other and be like, what the fuck is that about? Like
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
we
Uh-huh.
should do. I mean, right now, like our genres are all over the place too. And even the new stuff that we're writing now is super far away from this last like recordings and even further from the Tangerine recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so we're still trying to find our sound. We haven't popped off yet, you know. We'll
Right.
figure
I
it
mean,
out.
it's a
No,
huge,
but I mean, honestly, I mean, you're like I said, your streams have been fantastic. Like from our perspective, it's certainly nothing to shy about.
um huge dynamic range you guys have. Um, and you bring the electric in occasionally, like um, "We Belong Together." That
Mm,
song is that I because I was listening. I basically I'll be honest. I listened through the Spotify sleeve,
yeah.
and when that track came on, and Wolves has like rock and drums all of a sudden, it's like whoa. I just wonder if these like just crush are these like fan favorites? I don't
Yeah. I would actually say so much less so the recordings. I would say we're driven to recreate songs that we love to play live.
yeah,
Um, so weirdly, there's a thing on Spotify where I think, at least I've noticed that basically like softer songs, more acoustic, chiller songs tend to just do better on Spotify. If you want like amped up, amped up songs that are like powerful and crazy, just do better on YouTube. Um, Another like side note, in my like day job, I run a little music analytics company with a bunch of friends that I was living in Bali for 4 years, like doing that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a
Wow.
lot of data out there that basically sort of shows that Spotify is just tends to push softer songs. So it's like, to me, when we see like House of Cards and San Francisco doing the best,
Uh-huh.
um, those aren't our favorite songs to play live, but
Right.
they're like our soft, like nice songs that are like happy and well rounded. Um, that just sort of makes sense with the spot of how Spotify works. But we prefer like playing Wolves, playing We Belong Together, like those songs like pop in a
Yeah.
venue. Like it's so much fun
I mean,
to rip
again,
on
I was just
those.
listening in the car and I'm like, whoa, all of a sudden this is very different. And, you know, both are awesome. And is your theory there that that's just like algorithmic then, or?
I think it's just what people are listening, like looking for on Spotify these days.
Uh-huh.
Sadly, like I feel like the way a lot of people just listen to music is kind of casually in the background while they're working or doing something else. And they'll notice when maybe like, um, yeah, maybe like you don't want it to be so intense. You
Right.
want to just like relax and groove. It's
So
Mhm.
then,
tough, you know?
so like is that like somewhat of a day job for you? Like, on the kind of,
Yeah, that's how I survive.
yeah, fair enough.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's fun. It's like it's been like 8 years or so with some of my closest friends and stuff, and a bunch of us are musicians.
Hmm.
Um, One of them is actually like the head of it is actually like a pretty well-known DJ, much
Hmm.
much bigger than us, but spanning a broad musical range in the
Right.
little company. But yeah, it's been helpful also just to like know kind of how the because we're in these like data points all day. So I'm like, it's helpful. Like I use song stats myself.
Let me ask you a little bit about because we definitely historically have also, I don't know if struggled is the right word, but certainly experimented in a number of different genres. I personally love it. I was actually reading an article with Nicolas Cage the other day, of all people, who one of his biggest influences was Bowie.
Mm.
And he once asked Bowie, like, how were you able to kind of continually reinvent yourself? And his quote was, I never got comfortable with anything I was doing. And I think there's a lot of obviously truth to that when you're talking about music, where it's like the comfortability aspect. If you kind of do just sort of like get into this groove of like we're doing the same sound over and over, there's obviously a warmth and I guess a nice feeling around that. But are you really kind of like pushing through to maybe something new and better? So I'm just wondering if you can kind of speak to that a little bit when you guys are kind of trying different genres and going perhaps outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Like, so to some extent, the direction that we're going towards right now is a little bit more. Bowie's actually an interesting character to segue into this. I mean, just because like he's a showman, right? I mean, stomps around the stage like a Mick Jagger type or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
we started this project like purely in kind of
Yeah.
folk rock and stuff, and we are moving definitely more and more back towards our kind of like indie rock roots. And it's
Hmm.
much more like some of the songs are built around like I'm putting down a guitar and I'm just like being a lead singer out in front, um, and just like having a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
I saw you guys. Your last episode was Boys Go to Jupiter, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
I love them, and I saw them recently at Showcation, this festival. Um, and the lead singer, she's fantastic at this exact thing, where she just steps
Yeah.
out and she is a powerhouse, and she's just having the time of her life, and she like looks at you, and if you're not having that time of life, she makes you. You know,
Sure.
she really grabs you in. And we're sort of pulling into these directions that are maybe a little bit more dramatic as well,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
a little away from the folk tradition of just like calmly singing the song. It's
Yeah.
so yeah, and that's uncomfortable for sure. It's like it's weird. It's much easier just to hide behind the guitar and just stand there and sing. Um, it's
Yeah, it's
actually like,
interesting.
yeah,
It's interesting for you to kind of mention that. I don't know. Yeah, I guess on the one hand, I'm sure it is uncomfortable for you, but I can also imagine that you're seeing kind of some great reactions from the crowd, positive energy, and it's like, yeah, let's continue down this path and kind of see where this goes. Um, so yeah, full
yeah. I
for you
mean
for that.
that energy is like crack. I'm like, how
Yeah,
do I
Yeah,
recreate
yeah.
that? Like, how do I
Uh-huh.
write a new song that like has even more of that? It's like, it's it's
can be
really
addicting for sure.
it's totally addicting.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, let's get into the history a little bit here. It's you and Emerson that started up your
yeah,
your buddies from back in the day. Is that right?
yeah. So we were in bands together since we were like 11 years old.
Uh-huh.
So we were in bands all middle school, all of high school, and multiple at once. And I was for a while. He was like every band I was in, he was in, and that was like the only sure thing.
Right.
Um, so then, yeah, we split up in college and went different directions. And then when I was in Bali, I was like, I'm coming to New York, man. It might be this year, it might be next year, whatever. And it took 4 years, but um, I was like, please stay in New York, uh, because when I get there, like let's do this. And yeah, so we just like moved in together as soon as I arrived.
What
Nice.
drew you to the sort of the folk kind of angle on things? Is there a vibrant scene down there in Brooklyn for folk? I'm looking. It's 2022, I think, roughly, if that's right.
Hmm.
So you guys are coming out of the pandemic. Um,
Yeah,
what brings you to
for
folk?
so actually our first few songs that we put out there, I recorded by myself in Bali. Um, so
Just
the
like
folk
solo acoustic,
solo
maybe
with well
bando.
with a bunch of friends out there.
Yeah.
A lot of just like local Indonesian friends, and there's a pretty vibrant expat scene. And I was specifically working with this guy Jordan Vegas, who's from Venezuela, and we basically like we made much more. I put out these 5 songs under the Tumblers. We actually recorded like 13 or something. He was pissed. He was like, "Why are the rest not going out?"
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta. But basically, we used those songs as sort of like a launching point. Um, so we put those. I moved to New York, and we put out those 5 songs while we were
Uh-huh.
just like figuring our stuff out. But the Tumblers didn't really like fully get like our sound and as a band in New York until Tangerine.
Right.
So that was like our proper first record. Um, but the folk thing, to answer your original question, the folk thing, I think it's kind of weird because I mean, I was a huge Mumford and Sons and like Lumineers fan
Yeah.
and whatnot, but I think the I had always more written like indie rock songs.
Hmm.
Um, and I think the folk thing just came from like missing home, missing America, just
Uh-huh.
being like on the other side of the world. And to me, for some reason, my brain, I was like, American folk music, Americana,
Yeah.
just felt like home. And so that was the music that I was drawn towards. Um,
I visited Bali in 2022 for 4 days, and I went to a country western themed bar there,
Oh boy.
which was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So shout out Bali, and there were
Hell
a lot
yeah.
of drunk Australians in the airport.
Oh God.
God
Better.
bless.
So actually, that's great
yeah.
because I wanted to ask about the folks. I just went, by the way, this past weekend
Hmm.
was Woody Guthrie's, I don't know, 100 and something birthday.
Ooh.
Up. I'm not really sure what the connection is, but there's some connection to my hometown here, Somers, New York,
Hmm.
which I shout out every opportunity I have. And there's a little park, a little public park, and there was it was billed as a hootenanny, okay, and it was in this
Wow.
church, all acoustic. It was all, Woody Guthrie themed, but it was very like staid and formal and like, you know,
Hmm.
I feel like the folk scene to some extent, I was like belting it out and causing a ruckus because I thought it was a hootenanny, and I don't know that I was appreciated, to be honest. But
Kick
that's
them out.
that's often the situation with me.
Kick them out. Yeah.
But I wonder, because you guys have this spectrum of sounds from like kind of a folk sound, you guys get to really rock at some points. I wonder what the sort of most, what's more exciting for you to play live when you're you're touring all over the place, but especially in Brooklyn. Um, is the folk scene just kind of quiet and formal, or is it I think the Woody Guthrie original thing was very like you know it's folk. It's like uh,
Hmm.
lively and stuff. I don't know if you have an opinion about that.
You know, I don't think we've ever been like pure folk.
Right, right,
There
of course.
there like there's a vibrant scene in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Shout out to like the Jalopy and like Pete's Candy
God
Store.
bless you, the Jalopy Music Theater. Yeah,
Yeah, Jalopy's incredible. And the thing is, like, even in our folkiest version of ourselves, I
yeah,
don't think we would ever belong at the Jalopy. Like,
right. Okay,
that's true folk, and we're definitely
right.
modernizing and going more raucous and um, maybe into an anti-folk kind of
You know,
state or something.
Farrell Foster down there, Jalopy. He used to be down there. He used to organize the thing down there at Jalopy.
Hmm.
He's this awesome presence. I saw him back in the day at Banjo Jim's, no longer in existence down in the Lower East Side, but he's
Hmm.
terrific. He plays like a nylon string, and he like organizes a bunch of hootenannies down at the Jalopy Theater. Yeah, no, fair enough. Have you guys played there? Or?
No, no. I think I thought about it. Like I'm friends with some of the people who like run the place, but it just doesn't fit our sound. You
Fair
know,
enough.
like it's just we're not
Right.
pure enough. We
Well,
wouldn't belong.
Yeah, fair enough.
so speaking of playing live, because we actually only have 8 minutes left, we're on
The
the
cheap
budget.
Zoom. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 So talk to us, Jack, a little bit upon
The folk
what's
Zoom. I like to call it the folk
we're on
Zoom.
the
Okay.
folk Zoom here.
Yeah,
What's
Folk
what's on
Zoom.
what's on the
yeah.
horizon for the Tumblers?
You know, the biggest thing is we host a festival upstate, and that's literally next weekend,
Nice.
July 24th through 26th. So that's like the only thing that I can even really think about. We're kind of in the closing stages of that.
So
Uh,
yeah, what's the name of it? Where is it? How can folks, register? Whatever.
yeah, it's called Louderfest, and it's on this gorgeous farm in Delhi, New York. It's or just like 10 minutes outside of Delhi, and yeah, it's basically farm in the Catskills. We have 12 bands playing, a bunch of like
Nice,
random workshops and fun silliness, and it's all camping. So
Nice.
yeah, like last year was the first year we did it, and we had like just 100 people come, and you have 100 people camping on a beautiful farm playing music. There's like campfires, and half the people are musicians and whatever.
man.
And this year we've gotten some pretty big bands to come out. So there's By Lacy. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're pretty big out of Boston. They were just going around opening for the Black Keys. So they're going to
Yeah,
be our like big headliner.
nice.
Um, and then also a band called Certainly So from Nashville. Um, so
How,
yeah,
so this is not the first one. I take it.
This is
Second.
the second. This is the second. Yeah.
Second one. Yeah. How was the first? Apparently pretty good.
I mean, we're doing
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah, you're doing it
Uh,
again.
yeah, it's just awesome. I mean, these kind of things are really just about, who comes.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you have a good group of people who just like decide they want to have an amazing weekend and there's talented musicians around and playing music and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we had a ton of fun. There was even like a rave in the barn at one point that went till like 4 in the morning.
Nice.
Good.
So it's just a lot of silliness.
Nothing like a
That's
barn
awesome.
rave.
And
Nothing
then,
like a barn rave.
so maybe then quickly, just so the second album, do we have a release date for that?
No, not yet. We're in the middle of our like, so we've sort of split this second album into kind of like three sections, and we're about to finish up our um, the second EP basically August 14th or something like that. It's in a month basically. That'll finish this off, so that'll have two new songs on it to go along with the other three. And then we have four new tunes after that we'll be putting out in the fall. Um, and we're going on tour with those tracks down to like Virginia and stuff for a little bit. Um, so those are like, yeah, those are the main plans.
How are the crowds down there? They must love you guys down there.
I don't know. I don't
All
know. We
right.
haven't been yet. We
Well, fair
gotta, we
enough.
gotta, we gotta go. We gotta go find
What's
out.
the I want to save a little time for the lightning round. We always got to close with a lightning round. But
Let's do it right now.
Let's
I
do
just
it.
want to ask about the upcoming shows you guys have. So it's like I saw some Philly dates, some down south. You guys are
Uh,
a little bit on tour.
yeah, yeah. We're gonna definitely hit like DC, Richmond, Charlottesville, Blacksburg, and then come back up in Harrisburg and Philly. And yeah, we're still like pulling it together. It's actually like in sort of that critical time period where literally every day we're wrangling the schedule a little bit to try and like mash all these cities and stuff.
So is that
Um,
really, or is that your job, Jack? Like you're taking the reins on that?
Mostly, but I actually have a very good friend who's being our booking agent. Um, Jordan Robar, shout out, you're a hero. Um,
Yep.
he's got an agency called Talent Revival, and yeah, he's been fantastic, just getting everything sorted and dealing with all the people. Booking is tough.
Booking is
Booking
It is.
is
And it's a, yeah,
it's
it's a
half
tiresome.
work
half the
for
job
sure.
easily. Yeah, I would say. All
Yeah.
right, lightning round. Best Brooklyn venue. And you guys are
Uh,
pro
ba-
players, so I trust you.
Baby's all right.
Baby's all right. We have not
Good
played
one.
there. Would love to
Uh,
play there. Yeah, yeah, but
love Baby's all right.
yeah, yeah. Track you're most proud of to date or coming up.
Um, I love Wolves. Not everybody would say that in the band. I would choose that one,
I
but
love that one
Wolves to
too.
me. Yeah.
That was the one I was listening to in the car. I'm like, whoa! All of a sudden, my God, yeah.
There's this section in that song. So some of the songs we had like we actually went into a church, and Emerson is a professional choir singer. So
Mhm.
all his friends are professional choir singers, like top notch in New York, making a living off of it. And we got 10 of them into a church and recorded them. And literally, so there's the section of the song where it's just them going,
Yeah,
"Ah." Yeah, it's
that's so
incredible.
awesome.
So that
That's
was
so
amazing
awesome.
just to like watch them do that.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. What was I gonna ask? What indie or folk?
I'm on indie streak
You're
right
on indie
now.
right now.
I'm on indie.
Yeah, fair enough.
How about Dream Venue?
Dream venue. Well, I lived in Denver for a little bit, so I guess Red Rocks.
Okay, we've heard it before.
I
It's a
mean,
good answer.
can I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good answer. Believe me, I would love to play it too.
There's plenty in between where we're playing now and Red Rocks that I would also consider dream
Yeah,
venues. So
stepping stones, as they say.
yeah.
How
Mando
about?
or fiddle?
Oh,
Fiddle.
Yeah, God bless. God bless. The bow, really. You guys, I will say, and we only have like a minute left, but I will say, I was noticing the production on the fiddle. You guys really, you have it going on a lot of these tracks with the vocals going, and it's not distracting. That is a production feat. Pete, do you
Mm.
have anything else? Because we have less than a minute.
no, I would just want to say, Jack, thank you so much once again for joining us. A pleasure to chat with you. And yeah, we will link all your stuff in the comments, I think. Shout out Annie, our wonderful social media manager. Yeah, man, thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Thank you guys. Yeah, this is really fun.
Awesome talking to you. All right.